Well, I'm with Terry today. Terry from Penguin. He's got great experience in power stations. We're going down to the Waratah power station to see what's left down there. There's not much left down there.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, just about to turn off the good part of the track. What do you reckon, Terry?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, just see a couple of Stobie poles. So they're what they use instead of the wooden poles.
Oh yeah?
For bringing services in.
Ah, so would they be old?
They'd be very old, yes.
We've just come from bright sunshine into deep gloom as we head down the hill. Bit of the old corduroy track coming down the hill. Getting well down the hill now. Everything going okay?
Yeah, good. Oh, we're here.
There you go, Terry.
Unbelievable. A lot bigger than I thought they were going to be. They are actually bigger than I thought they were going to be. I thought they were the small ones. Yeah.
We've just arrived now. Terry's having a look around some of the old gear. Would this be control gear or?
It's just control gear.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, that looks like a field rheostat again. So normally these machines would have an exciter and possibly even a pilot exciter, although I can't see that at the moment. And they would be using these to control the field of the DC armature.
Okay.
The DC machine for the excitation.
Okay, that's another one. Another one, little switch there.
Four on there.
Yeah.
And all these are heavy wire wound resistors. They're all wire wound resistors, although cast iron. Just
Cast
heavy
iron?
duty ones.
Really?
Yes.
And I presume this framework would have had a marble.
All marble
surface.
panels, yes, all marble panels in those days.
Yes. Yeah,
Just criminal to see it all broken like that.
it is. So you say metering transformer?
Metering transformers, yeah. So to measure the HV, they put it through a transformer
Yeah.
down onto a. It looks like a bunch of CTs there. That's another CT.
Wow. Yeah.
And,
So the
yeah,
bloke
to gauge levels of voltage and current.
So the blokes that be in here monitoring?
They would be on the other side.
Oh.
Almost certainly, if you wanted to work in that, you would have to isolate something before you come around here. Isolate the earth.
So
Yes, that's another example of a field rheostat for machine voltage control.
Right.
So almost certainly controlling excitation current and therefore voltage control. Obviously that's your main alternator and your turbine, the turbine. Main penstock coming in.
Yep.
So right angle bends.
I'll just look out the window.
Yeah. So you can see what you're talking about, the right angle bends from the penstock leading into the turbine. In stations like Lake Margaret, Waratah, they're all sweeping bends rather than those right angles. The cavitation must have been enormous there at times.
What do you want to say?
Yeah, so the turbine itself, the Pelton turbine, and two jets, one at the top, one at the bottom. So I don't know whether you can see that with your video there, how that splits.
Oh yes.
One at the top, one at the bottom. So stations like Tarraleah have four jets. Fisher power station have four jets. These days they only use two. To only use one tends to throw sideways thrust, so you try and even it up by having one on either side. All white metal bearings, so these were white metal poured in the case and would have been oil filled, so it would have been constantly dipped, checked as they were running.
I think there's one of those opened up over there.
Yes.
We'll show that later.
Yep,
Okay.
and large flywheels, so all these big machines of that ilk to try and dampen out hunting load steps have an enormous flywheel as part of the weight, just to give the whole thing more weight, more inertia.
Yes.
You can see the main field coils. So they're the main field coils for the excitation for the generator. And the stator windings would have come out here and round and gone back. so in a loop back down. All been torn out, but it's the wonder they haven't pinched those as well. And of course a row of cooling fan blades. Once again, all those are rusted up, but they're all white metal in oil bath type bearings, and that's the coupling. So on this end, the exciter, and normally the armature of the exciter is directly linked, goes out to these slip rings here. These slip rings here. So the connections from the armature often link straight to the excitation there, and they control the field of the exciter to give you the voltage adjustment in your main alternator. So these are your brushes there, your brushes and slip rings. So that's something that would have had to be maintained. Interesting, there's only 4 brushes, I think. Yeah, 4 brushes. And these are all mica, insulated with mica.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that is one of the purple wheels in place. I'm just trying to see where the jets come in onto that though. It's a bit hard to see. Is that one of them there? Maybe.
So
that's a bit hard to tell what's happening there, but I would imagine.
So
yeah, that's most certainly been a valve. Adjustable by that. So this would have been the belt onto that. That device would have been the governor. So originally to start the machine, you would normally crank this one up by hand. Once the thing gets up to speed, this starts to turn, regulates the speed of this, and that is doing the governing back onto that shaft from there. So that's the feedback mechanism for sure.
and that's controlling the water.
Yes,
the water
that's
flow.
controlling the water flow in there. So for speed regulation to get the thing started, and would have been this.
Really?
Then once it gets up to speed, regulated by the governor.
Right.
And also from that point onwards.
There was a belt.
Yeah, there was a belt from here to there. That's most certainly the governor.
There you go.
So that's a classic white metal shell bearing. You can see the white metal around in there.
Yep.
So all hydro turbines today, even the ones that weigh 400 or 500 tonnes, use this style, normally vertical, and but yeah, still white metal. It's very soft. It's a bit like a mixture of aluminium and lead. But yeah, these would have been just oil bath filled up and constantly running with the shaft directly on the white metal. Yeah, so with HV circuit breakers, normally the contacts would be immersed in oil, and that's for extinguishing the arc, keeping things cool and preventing burning. Normally in a circuit breaker like that, after several fault operations, you'd have to take the thing out, clean the contacts, change the oil, because the oil would be quite black, like a Holden sump oil. Change that, put fresh stuff in there, and away you go again.
Oh, she still turns, Terry.
Still turns. That's an incredible testament to white metal bearings after that many years.
Yep.
They can still do that and still reasonably balanced.
Excellent. There you go.
Marvellous after all those years to be able to still do that. See, that thing is an oil ring.
Yeah.
So that ring hangs on top of the shaft and is actually bigger in diameter. So the ring sits in the oil bath, and as it turns slowly, picks oil up and just distributes it.
Really? That's amazing.
So if I let that stop, you see the separate oil ring that stopped there?
Yes, yes.
So you can actually lift that up.
So it's sort of loose in the air.
Yeah, that just hangs. And even though this one's spinning at, say, 500 revs,
Yes.
that'll be turning at only about probably 20 or 30 revs. Just dipping in the oil and slowly picking it up and distributing it on the shaft
Really?
as we go. Yeah.
Those two machines are the same brand, same manufacturer. That one's different. And I bet you, out under all that rubble, there's another one like that. So it's quite a larger Pelton arrangement. And looks like a bigger alternator on this one. And this is under the building that's fallen down.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is that these stators are sitting directly hard down on the floors.
Right.
You can see these ones, these are about plinth floors.
Oh yes.
That looks to me like it's not original.
Uh-huh. There you go. Right, Terry, you've had a bit of a look around. What do you reckon about this place?
I reckon it's sad to see machinery just let go like this. Yeah, and in the building as well.
All right, well thank you. This is our last report from my side.
Yep, very good.
First station. Head off up the hill, eh?
Yep, head up there.
Good.
Into the sunshine again.
Yes. Well, it's very interesting, Terry. You
It was interesting.
pointed out a lot of things I didn't know about.